He was born David Keith Lynch on January 20th, 1946 in Missoula, Montana. He would later describe his childhood as having been idyllic, so much so that he always wished for some great unpleasantness or some tragedy that his life may not be so ordinary. He graduated from high school in 1964 and attended the Boston Museum School, a prestigious fine arts college. 1 year later, he left for Europe, hoping to study art abroad for 3 years, but instead returning after just 15 days. Back in America, he shared a small house with his good friend Jack Fisk while attending classes at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. He would recall these years as the best of his life, as the hardships of his living conditions more than repented for his charmed upbringing. In the course of 4 years, he had bought a new home, married his girlfriend Peggy, had a kid, and had gotten into film. The Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts held an annual sculpture and painting competition which David participated in twice. His first project was a kinetic sculpture which won him second prize. His second sculpture involved projecting a film loop onto a three-dimensional clear object to create an interesting canvas effect. The project won him first prize and kick-started his interests in filmmaking. He shortly after left the Academy and created a short animation film hybrid called The Alphabet, in the hopes of earning a grant from the American Film Institute to further pursue his newfound interests he did. With a second short film titled The Grandmother, he was admitted into the Institute's Center for Advanced Film Studies. There, he penned a lengthy script for mainstream television stations about a giant insect that was a metaphor for man's rapidly depleting psyche. It went absolutely nowhere. His grant money rapidly depleting, Lynch worked a series of odd jobs, all the while nursing a passion project called Eraserhead, which was completed in 1974. With Eraserhead as his flagship portfolio, David pitched his talents to equally insane director Mel Brooks. Known more for his comedy, Mel put Lynch in charge of directing The Elephant Man.
I am not an elephant! I am not an animal!
The story of an Englishman with horrendous deformities who is constantly treated as an animal when he in fact is the more human one, as he is kind and introspective and irony. The movie received 2 Academy Awards nominations for Best Director and Best Screenplay based on material from another medium. The former award going to Robert Redford, who played the horse in Charlotte's Web. How's that feel, Davy? Right in the success of The Elephant Man, Lynch wrote the scripts for small, largely unfinished projects such as Ronnie Rocket and Blue Velvet. In the cinema hiatus, Lynch was contacted by Dino De Laurentiis to direct the 1984 sci-fi epic Dune, and he did, and it was horrible. Luckily, his accreditation was redeemed with his next piece, of Blue Velvet. Remember how I said those pieces were largely unfinished? That's because he actually finished one. The National Society of Film Critics, a band of curmudgeons, second perhaps only to the forces of Sauron in terms of passive brutality, dubbed it the best film of 1986. With his unconventional, quirky, and oftentimes surreal approach to filmography fully realized and accepted, he was on the path to directorial infamy. All the while, he continued to pursue the arts he had previously studied prior to becoming immersed in film, primarily painting. Yeah. In 1990, David Lynch, alongside Mark Frost, released a television serial drama known as
For your information, I heard you speaking about Laura Palmer.
Yes?
One day, my log will have something to say about this. My log saw something that night.
Really? What did it see?
Ask it. I thought so.